But the first thing that I'm gonna be reacting to is She-Hulk. This is Rock Bottom. I think this is about the final and everything about the show. I've already seen it. I've seen the final. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, don't watch this right now, me reacting or me talking about it, because I will share my opinion. Come back in 20 minutes because there are 2 videos. This is the first one, so let's go.
Congratulations, Galadriel. You've defeated everyone, as always. Well done. You can go home now.
Galadriel?
I am grateful you have not known evil as I have. But you have not seen what I've seen.
I've seen my share.
You have not seen what I have seen.
I've seen She-Hulk. Jesus wept. Where do I even begin with this one? I mean, I know I've shat on Marvel's TV shows in the past for basically being a never-ending race to the bottom, chewing up popular characters and tarnishing the legacy of previous movies in a desperate effort to launch next product or push the message, or just keep the content sludge pipe flowing at full capacity for Disney Plus. But as bad as they were, there was at least some semblance of quality control, some attempt to tell a coherent story. It was rarely a good story and definitely not worth your time.
Let me
but
just see when this was published.
There was some kind of point to the
12,
show.
right,
but She-Hulk is a different beast. A show that lacks even the basic elements of a story with which to grapple, whose cast of one-dimensional caricatures lurches and meanders from one pointless episode to another with absolutely no sense of where they're going or why, while desperately trying to push jokes that are about as funny as a fucking cancer diagnosis. It's a show that seems to have been conceived and written in the space of a single afternoon by a creative team, and I use the word creative to describe these people in the same way I'd use the words faithful adaptation to describe Rings of Power, that couldn't quite believe that they'd actually been given the gig. And having watched it myself, I can't fucking believe it either. And because I want to get this shit over with as quickly as possible, allow me to outline the plots. And believe me, this isn't gonna take long because barely anything happens in this fucking show. The story, such as it is, picks up with Jennifer Walters, a successful attorney. And that's basically all I can tell you about her, because that's all there really is to her life and personality. She's a lawyer, and she really likes her job. And that's it. But when she's out driving one day with her cousin Bruce Banner, who somehow managed to turn himself back into Mark Ruffalo so the rest of the plot could happen, she gets involved in a car wreck because she wasn't paying attention to the roads. Take that, unfair stereotypes that women are bad at driving. And while pulling him out of the wreck, some of Bruce's blood fuses with her own, thus turning her into a female version of the Hulk. A She-Hulk, if you will. Naturally, this presents quite the problem, because randomly turning into an unstoppable rage-fueled monster could put everyone around her at risk, which means she's gonna have to learn to be extremely cautious and develop absolute self-control.
You serious?
Ah wait, I'm just kidding. That's the plot for a completely different and far better TV show. In She-Hulk's case, it's more like a light switch that she can turn on and off whenever she wants, with no repercussions, resource costs, or danger to herself. And she also remains fully lucid and in control of herself while she's in Hulk form. Well, that's lucky. It's almost like the writers now have complete creative freedom to do whatever they want with absolutely no constraints or limitations. Anyway, it's not long before she's forced to reveal her powers when this ridiculous arsehole bursts into her courtroom for absolutely no reason. Mind-blowing editing there, guys. The incident causes Jen to lose her job, but that's okay because literally 5 minutes later she's been hired by a different firm who want her to represent superheroes and villains as the She-Hulk. Well, don't you love how actions and decisions have serious long-term repercussions for the protagonist and those around them? Spider-Man could only dream of such quality character developments. Jennifer's job now is to represent people with superpowers in various court cases that showcase the writer's complete ignorance of the American legal system while navigating the trials and tribulations of dating as a famous green monster lady, thus showcasing the writer's complete ignorance of men, modern culture, and normal interaction between humans.
So
Honestly,
it's even boring listening
hard
to the review about
the
this.
begin when it comes to critiquing this show, because pretty much every single aspect of it is so irredeemably awful that it's practically a waste of time trying to sift through it. I mean, I guess we might as well start by judging a book by its cover, which in this case means the visuals. Now, anyone with functioning optic nerves doesn't need me to tell them that She-Hulk is a visual nightmare. The CG is the kind of awkward, jerky, badly animated trash that I'd expect from a low-budget superhero show from the mid-2000s. Jen moves and walks with all the grace and fluidity of an NPC from a PlayStation 2 game, to the point where I kept expecting her to get stuck in doorways and start glitching out. And it's even worse when she actually has to speak. Half the time her mouth doesn't even match up with the dialogue that she's saying.
Your Honor, I believe this information to be incredibly relevant given the nature of the complaint.
How the fuck could this come from the same studio who made stuff like Thanos? And what's truly
True.
mind-boggling is that they actually had a 6'7" model to act as a reference point for the animators, which begs the rather obvious question, why the fuck didn't they just paint her green and save themselves a shit ton of money? The writing is another massive steaming turd that absolutely has to be addressed. The overarching plot is, well, basically non-existent. Each episode feels like it was conceived by getting a group of 9-year-olds to write a bunch of single-sentence ideas onto a board, and then throwing darts at them to see which ones came up. The board, I mean, not the 9-year-olds. That sort of thing doesn't end well. Believe that.
We got a bleeder!
Jen tries out a dating app.
Did you try
Jen
it?
goes
So what are you
dress
saying,
shopping.
bro?
Jen goes to a wedding. Jen gets ghosted by her boyfriend. Jen meets a new man. It's like fucking party time here, mate. Most episodes barely manage to scrape past the 20-minute mark, and even then it feels like there isn't enough plot
That's
to
the
sustain
best part
them.
about the
I mean,
series.
don't get me wrong, they also feel like they're about 2 hours long, but that's just my
Melanie,
own
welcome.
perception of time getting dilated by this shittiness. Whatever nonsense is going on either serves as a vague backdrop to Jen's personal issue of the week, or as a catalyst for some tedious new drama in her life. Wow, it's almost like the writers totally don't understand or care about superheroes, or the law, or constructing action sequences, or character development, and really just want to write a breezy comedy about a modern professional woman trying to negotiate a man's worlds. Which is all a bit of a problem when your show's entire premise is built around your protagonist being a superpowered lawyer. While we're talking about Jen though, I suppose I should mention that she's probably one of the least interesting, least intelligent, and least likeable protagonists I've ever seen on TV.
No, I don't really agree with him. I think she did a fine job, all right? With what she was given and handed, the actress herself, I really don't think she did a bad. She couldn't have done anything better than what she did. No matter who she was, it's bad writing, you know? It's not the actress' fault. She's charismatic, small, cute, adorable, you know, funny. I think it has nothing to do with her.
Well, aside from the obvious, of course. She's
Okay,
self-absorbed,
Galadriel,
shallow,
that's another thing,
condescending,
bro.
Narcissistic,
She's awful.
patronizing, boring, and aggressive. And that's before she even turns into She-Hulk. I've already talked about the ridiculous, unhinged rant she goes on against Bruce, a man that's lost and sacrificed more than she'll ever have.
I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
And this kind of shitty behaviour pretty much sets the tone for her entire character. She gets to do and say whatever she wants with almost no negative consequences. In fact, if anything, she seems to get rewarded for it. And if that's not an insight into the mindset of the writers, I don't know what is. For me, the hallmark of a good, well-rounded character is someone that you can picture in
The ending, you
situations outside
guys.
the scope of the story. For example, I can totally imagine what guys like Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, and Peter Parker might get up to in their spare time. But outside of working and drinking with her one and only friend, I genuinely can't picture what Jennifer Walters might do with her life. What are her interests, her hobbies, her personal history, her aspirations, her hopes, fears, dreams,
have
and
no idea.
insecurities? Don't know, because the writers don't seem to
Nothing.
know or care either. She's basically just an avatar for them to project all of their gripes and hang-ups onto.
nothing.
And it's a shame, really, because I think Tatiana Maslany is a pretty good actress. I actually ended up feeling kind of sorry for her. You can tell that she's
Exactly.
working her arse off trying to sell this shitty character to the audience, but all it really does is prove that you can't polish a turd. Tim Roth, on the other hand, delivers the kind of
you, Melanie.
don't give a fuck performance that tells me the only reason he came back was a hefty paycheck. And I couldn't help but wonder,
Yeah.
why did they choose this guy out of all the backstory characters they had available? Remember Emil Blonsky from that mediocre Hulk movie from like 13 years ago? Nah, neither do I particularly, but he's back, and now he looks and acts like a completely different character. I was also about to say that the show disrespects Wong by turning him into a goofy, clueless moron with a room temperature IQ, but let's be honest here, Multiverse of Madness already did that pretty effectively, so I guess I can't criticize She-Hulk for beating a dead horse. Honestly, Benedict Wong, you deserve far better than this. But the one that really saddens me the most is Charlie Cox's Daredevil. Don't get me wrong, out of all the flaccid, meek, brain-dead
I was
excuses
just
for male
waiting
characters
for
in
him
this
to
show,
appear,
he's probably
and
the
then-
one that gets humiliated the least, and his brief court scene only serves to underline how absolutely incompetent Jen is as a lawyer.
I'm dismissing this case.
Like, they brought him and he destroyed the like, he did so good. He did so good in the show, but unfortunately, I just hope that the Daredevil series that is coming out is not gonna have the same attitude and theme and stuff like the new Daredevil. Like, I really hope this was just nothing, not even a glimpse in the future. Please tell me it's not even the
No,
glimpse.
but I would like you to.
A glimpse
But
into
man,
the future.
the fact he's even in this show is like some weird taint on his character now. The fact that he went from
Not
this...
that bad. Come on. Oh my god. This is one of my favorite like scenes, bruh. It was captured the whole scene with one camera movement. Basically no cuts, no edits. A lot of Daredevil scenes were captured like that. I'm talking about the actual series. And what I loved about it, after they did this, other movies and other content, not content creators, but other type of camera movement, like people were using the same idea. In one of the war movies, was it 1954? And I don't remember the date of the movie. And then, oh, actually it was World War One. So 1918, I think. And then they did it in Extraction with Chris Hemsworth on Netflix. So yeah, use the same. Was it 1954?
To this,
I don't think so. I think it was. Yeah. What? Oh man.
is something we'll never be able to wipe from
Man.
our collective memory, no matter how much toilet duck we drink. Believe me, I know. And the thing is, all of this stuff, the unlikable characters, the nonsensical storytelling, the laughable special effects, would be more or less tolerable if this show managed to deliver the one thing it desperately wants to sell itself on. Comedy. But that's where She-Hulk really
that's
falls
so
on its
bad.
gigantic green arse
comedy is
because,
so bad.
well, how can I put this? It makes Amy Schumer look like Dave Chappelle.
And before you make assumptions, no, I am not a matador. That would make the two of us fighting pretty cliche, no?
You almost tasted that. Num 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 num, eat it up. Go play okay, 3, 2, 1. You know I'm the hottest. You ain't never gotta heat me up.
I just did 600.
Hi,
I'm
Cruz.
not even a superhero.
Hi, Wizzy.
Hey, did somebody take our order?
Wongers, can I get froyo?
They're laughing in the background. Oh, it's killing me.
Honestly, if your goal is to break the negative stereotype that women aren't funny, then this show really isn't doing your cause any favours. And of course, there's only ever one target for the jokes in She-Hulk. Almost without fail, the men in this show are portrayed as incompetent, overbearing,
dumb, every single one.
patronising, dumb, cowardly,
Except Daredevil.
weak, insecure, and comically misogynistic.
There's a hot chick over
These
there.
random guys, you know, that you don't know about.
Basically just a bunch of convenient straw men for Jen to knock
Every
down with
single one of
absolutely
them.
no effort. The writers seem to view men as either corrupt and arrogant egomaniacs undeserving of the success they have, or unthreatening submissive whipping boys who do exactly what they're told and know better than to question their female overlords. And I don't know, man, beneath all the smiles and the lame jokes, there's this weird...
Just give me one example of one man who doesn't have superpowers, who's not a superhero or a well-known character before, that was decent here, that reacted and did well and was a decent
undertone
human
of
being.
spiteful bitterness and hatred to She-Hulk. But hey, it's also kind of funny once you realise you're basically seeing the writer's own
But
personal
all other
hang-ups
women
and
are
insecurities
nice,
projected
except
right
the
onto
villain
screen
women.
in front of you. Why don't my co-workers respect me for being given a job that I didn't earn? Why do guys think it's okay to flirt with me at a bar? But also, why am I still single and staring down the barrel of middle age? Why do people question my judgment even though I'm plainly terrible at my job? Why do men not like me for who I am instead of how I look, even though I desperately want to look better? Why are my family putting pressure on me to settle down when I just want to party and pretend like I'm still in my mid-20s? Why is there nothing of substance or value in my entire life outside of work and drinking? Why can't I just do and say whatever I want with absolutely no consequences? These are all issues that I can safely label as rich liberal women problems. It's the kind of petty, mundane, and mostly self-inflicted irritations that people like Hollywood writers obsess over because it's the closest thing to adversity they've ever experienced. So naturally, they think everyone else...
Like, these are people who live in first world countries and they are so bored with how perfect their life is, or almost perfect, that they're just creating something, you know. They just want to do something exciting, whether it is bad or good, and just talk about it. They want problems. They want
else
issues.
can relate to it too, because the idea of anyone existing outside of their carefully protected socio-economic Southern Californian bubble is some crazy mind-bending impossibility for them. Yeah, I'm sure a working-class teenager from Hicksville, Virginia, working a minimum wage job is totally going to empathize with the online dating woes of a rich, narcissistic 30-something lawyer. All of this stuff adds up to a gigantic pile of green shit. Without doubt the worst TV show Marvel has ever put out, and a complete waste of time, money, and life. And the thing is, who even really cares at this point? Marvel certainly doesn't. I'm sure it's going to get a second season despite being an internet lolcow for the past couple of months and a complete embarrassment. And I'm sure that She-Hulk will probably end up appearing in future movies too. In which case, well, they're welcome to her. But if you value your sanity, or just the couple of hours of your life that it'll take you to fight your way through this, then you'll stay as far away from She-Hulk as you possibly can. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Go away now. I mean, I agree with him. He didn't really want to talk about the ending as much. One thing, I don't like how she looks at us and talks at us. Like, she's breaking the fourth wall just like Deadpool does it. And Deadpool did it first. And the way Deadpool did it was really, really good. I liked it. I really loved that added effect into the series and the movie, I mean. But with the series here, oh my god, it's so bad. Like, what are they trying to do? At some point she just turns and talks to us, and then she continues nothing is wrong, and I don't know, I just did not like it at all. That one I did not like at all. I'm gonna continue with the other one, and then when it comes to the ending, you guys, I'm just gonna watch this about the final, and I'm gonna share my opinion about the final. But like, oh my god, spoiler alert!
She-Hulk Attorney at Law has wrapped up its first season on Disney+, but the
scene.
biggest reveal in the season 1 finale involves not Jen Walters, but her cousin Bruce. Hulk is back from the planet Sakaar, and he's brought his son with him.
This is my son.
If you haven't watched it, Alex, spoilers, come back in 7 minutes. 7 minutes, all right? I paused it for him so he doesn't accidentally. All right, so come back in like 8 minutes because I'm gonna share my point as well.
Scar.
That's right, Scar has joined the MCU. And if you're not familiar with this Junior Hulk, now is the time to brush up on the tragic history of Scar and the Planet Hulk saga.
Nice music.
The She-Hulk finale doesn't reveal a lot
And
about
Scar's
Scar
and,
or
like,
his origin
he
story.
looks like an
Heck, He doesn't
avatar.
even have any dialogue in this quick scene at the Walters family picnic.
What is this? I'm sorry. What is this? What is this? Why is this hairstyle? He's completely animated. He is so, like, it's Avatar, bro.
But that scene does reveal the most important detail about Scar.
It's so bad, I
He's
can't.
the Hulk's long-lost son, and he hails from the planet Sakaar. In both the comics and the MCU, Hulk spends a good deal of time away from Earth and smashing his way to victory in Sakaar's gladiator arena. In the comics, Hulk eventually falls in love with fellow warrior named Kyra, the Old Strong, and she becomes pregnant. Kyra is later killed in an act of sabotage, leading Hulk to embark on a bloody quest for revenge on Earth. More on that later. Little does he know that while Kyra is dead, their child survived the attack. The child quickly grows up in one of the most hellish environments
So
in the
is this
Marvel
how the child looks like? Is this how the child is supposed to look like? And this is what you did? Okay, alright. Oh my god.
The most hellish environments in the Marvel
they destroyed
universe,
him.
and becomes a warrior every bit as strong and
Hurts.
fierce as his parents.
It's pain. It's pain. Oh my
Scar
god,
was
it's so
created by
painful.
writer
Look
Greg
how cool
Pak
he
and
is.
artist
Look at his
John Romita
hair.
Jr., and made his official debut at the end of 2007's World War Hulk crossover. World War Hulk itself is one piece of Pak's much larger Hulk saga, which began in 2005's Planet Hulk. Planet Hulk deals with Hulk's arrival on Sakaar after the Illuminati banish him from Earth.
Everybody's turning into a DC fan now.
Hulk first becomes an enslaved gladiator before
We're not that
leading an
far away from
uprising
it.
against the Sakarian Emperor. Hulk then becomes Emperor himself, ruling peacefully alongside
Wait
Queen
for Black
Chimera.
Adam, man.
Unfortunately for these newlyweds, tragedy strikes when Hulk's crashed spacecraft explodes, killing Chimera and destroying Sakaar's capital city. Hulk assumes the Illuminati are to blame, so he assembles his Warbound and launches a massive attack on Earth. Only too late does he realize two important truths. It was one of his own warriors who sabotaged the ship, and his son Scar has survived.
So
Scar's
cool.
early adventures are chronicled in the follow-up series Scar, Son of Hulk. Because of
this
his
hair,
unusual
bro.
bloodline, Scar grows to young adulthood rapidly and is able to survive the harsh Sakarian environment. He eventually defeats his nemesis, the warlord Axeman Bone, and vows to travel to Earth and kill his absentee father.
Why we never
Hulk
had this
is a
movie?
constantly evolving character, however, and once Scar finally arrives, he realizes the Green Scar who ruled Sakaar is no more. Scar eventually makes Earth his new home, meaning Hulk has a new challenger for the title of Strongest There Is. That origin story basically sets the tone for Scar's entire life. He's a character mired in tragedy, losing his parents before he's ever born, and forced to grow up unnaturally fast. He spent
I think I missed something while he was talking because he talks fast, but he just said that he lost his parents before he was even born. What?
spent what little childhood he had fighting for survival, and now he's a full-grown Hulk with even more daddy issues than Bruce Banner. The Marvel Universe is lucky Scar turned out as well as he did. 2017's Thor Ragnarok loosely adapts some elements of the Planet Hulk storyline. It also has Hulk travel to Sakaar, become a gladiator in the planet's fighting pits, and make friends with fellow gladiators Meek and Korg. However, the tone of Hulk's Sakaar adventure is far different in the MCU. Ragnarok treats it more as
like
a
they didn't
much-needed
die, they-
vacation than a
okay, I
forced
get it
exile
now.
from Earth, and Hulk is less a slave than a beloved celebrity.
There's no way, unless she,
He also
while
doesn't
giving
usurp
birth,
the
she
throne
died.
of Sakaar, though he and Thor wind up helping speed along the Grandmaster's downfall by the time they escape the planet. Obviously, Banner's story has taken a very different turn in the MCU since returning to Earth, dealing with the events of Avengers Infinity War and merging his two selves into one
Now
unified
he's just
persona.
telling us the story. We know.
Ragnarok certainly didn't set up a World War Hulk movie, nor did it give any indication Scar
welcome.
exists in the MCU. However, She-Hulk Attorney-at-Law reveals that Hulk has maintained contact with Sakaar over the years. Previous episodes showed a Sakarian messenger arriving on Earth and Hulk returning to the planet to deal with some unfinished business. Apparently, that includes meeting his long-lost son. There's clearly a lot of story unfolding off-screen right now. We don't know exactly why Hulk was called back to Sakaar. Was it specifically to confront his son, or did he return to the planet to help with the political unrest caused by the Grandmaster's downfall? Ragnarok established that time works differently on Sakaar, so for all we know, Hulk was gone for years during his 5-episode absence. These are questions for the MCU's next big Hulk project to address.
Where will Sakaar appear next?
It's obvious from Scar's brief appearance in the She-Hulk finale that Marvel has bigger plans for both father and son. That could mean both characters will appear in She-Hulk Season 2, though Marvel has yet to officially confirm a second season. We could also see Hulk and Scar
There is no season 2, right?
confirm a second season. We could
They
also
didn't
see Hulk
confirm
and
it,
Scar
okay.
show up in 2024's Captain America New
Oh,
World
please
Order.
no.
We already know that Tim Blake Nelson is reprising his role as the
Fine,
leader
we
in
get
that
it.
sequel,
She-Hulk
so
exists
it would
now.
make
Okay,
sense
cool.
to have a Hulk or two in the picture. And if the New World Order is anything like Civil War, it'll be as much an Avengers movie as it is a solo Cap sequel anyway. The She-Hulk finale also teases a potential Hulk movie in the near future, though if Kevin is to be believed, She-Hulk herself won't be appearing.
And how she talks to the camera, like, so bad.
Really?
No.
Oh, whatever, Kevin.
There have been rumors for a while that Marvel is developing a World War Hulk movie, and this could be Marvel's way of confirming those rumors.
Thanks, Swizzy.
That said, don't expect a direct adaptation of Planet Hulk
Have a good
or
War
World
Day.
War Hulk in the MCU. Those stories were centered around a version of Hulk driven by rage and pain. The MCU's Hulk is in a much better place, but we may see elements of both stories adapted in a World War Hulk movie or series.
I would like to see
that
this
project
one.
may address some of the lingering questions around Scar's origins and reveal what the current state of life on Sakaar is. Perhaps we'll even get a version of Kyra and her tragic fate revisited too. And just as the Hawkeye series saw Clint Barton pass the torch to Kate Bishop, the next Hulk movie may show us Scar following in his father's footsteps and becoming the giant green monster
cool.
the world needs him to be. But where do you think we'll see Scar next in the MCU? Is a World War Hulk movie finally happening? Let us know what you think in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.
Oh man. Alright, so I don't know where to start. I already shared my opinion mostly about it. I would love to see Sakaar, like a new movie, Hulk on Sakaar again, and with dealing with his son. But I hope he will not look like this. Like, please, this hairstyle is killing me. Like, let him have this long, straight black hair. That is so beautiful. There is really no need for this new hippie style with this scar here on the, like, his name is, okay, that's cool. You can leave the scar, but like, you can like put back the hair, right? Let it grow. Let the hair grow. Other than the way he looks, which I really dislike, I really hope that Hulk will have his own story, like own movie or series, and not implemented in season 2 of She-Hulk. Please, no. We're done. We get She-Hulk. She's cool. Whatever. You can have her in a couple of minutes in any kind of Marvel movie or series in the future. Just please, there is really no need. We are not interested in more She-Hulk stories. Her daily life as a lawyer. We really don't care. The cases were awful. All the characters that were new in the series were awful. You know, I'm done. I really am done. I watched it all. I really wanted to watch it. And then like the final where she even admits, like even the writers admit how bad of a job they have done. That in the ending, she pauses. She looks at you. She like literally changes the whole ending. She goes to the to the producers, to the writers, and she talks to them how badly it is. They're making joke of themselves. They know how bad it is. Then why are you making a season? Don't make a season 2. End it, please.